my name is Anne, and welcome to a Tobyknits Podcast, episode 156. If you are new to my channel, welcome. Grab a cup of tea or a beverage of your choice, depending on the time of the day, and get comfy, because we are going to talk about knitting, crochet, cross stitch, and quilting today. Oh, it's going to be packed. So you're definitely going to need your cup of tea. Toby is not here. He is somewhere with Bob. Normally he comes and introduces himself, but he might pop in later. You never know. Toby, if you don't know, is my little Yorkie and runs the household. Yeah. I am originally from England. Came to Canada when I was 25, and here I am 40 odd years later in a little town, little village actually, it's a village, not a town, just outside of Ottawa, Ontario. And yeah, we have no snow. It's just kind of bizarre. I don't remember a time in early March that we've not had snow. And I mean, we haven't had snow for about a week. It's anyway, kind of crazy. So what have you been up to this past 2 weeks? Anything exciting? What have I been up to? Let me get my little diary so I can remember, because, you know, every week just mashes its way by for me. So what did I get up to? I went to knit club. Went to Michael's and got Tristan's cross stitch framed. Well, I framed it, but I got all the bits from Michael's. Oh, I had a bone density test. Now, have you ever had one of them? Very interesting, very interesting. So you had to fill out this form beforehand, and which I did. And it says, you know, what medications are you on? Of course, I was on a new medication that they didn't have on this screen, so I added that. And then it said, if you had a bone density test before, and I said no. And I kept saying to Bob, I have no idea what to expect. They said it takes an hour. Anyway, I got there, and the woman, I go in to see the lady, and I sit there, and she says, oh, you have had a bone density test before? I said, I have? When? She said, 2014. I'm like, that's 10 years ago, love. Like, I can't remember last week, never mind 10 years ago. And how many x-rays have you had since then, right? So it's like, no, I couldn't remember. Anyway, it was very easy. You just lay there. Didn't even have to get changed. Just stayed in my regular clothes. And this machine thing comes over the top of you, you know, and then back. And then I had to twist my leg and my hip a certain way. And anyway, long story short, I got the results back. And I have to take calcium now. Yes, it's not that bad. I don't think my bones have decreased that much. Bob's outside. I have no idea why. Oh, he's going in the shed. That's why he's going in the shed. Yeah, he's going to get my old bike. We're giving my old bike to Megan. And of course, we leave for Nova Scotia next week. So he's going to get it and see, and the bike rack, so that we can see if we can fit it on the new vehicle. Yes. Because it's rather big to go in the back, and we're going to have the dog with us. So anyway, he's going up to the shed, which is way at the top of the property, if you remember my backyard. So that's where he's going. So yeah, so it's not that bad, the bone density. It's very, like they say, oh yes, your bone density has decreased by 0.01. Really? In the grand scheme of things, is that a lot or not? I don't know. Anyways, I have to take calcium, which I'm not thrilled about, because they're giant. If you've ever seen a calcium tablet, they're giant things. They're like gobstoppers. I don't know if I can swallow that. So I'm going to find some chewable ones, because I don't think I can do that. But after all, I mean, you know, you do what you do, right? Then F1 season started. So I watched the race. That was good, the first one. And then we went for dinner with some friends, which was lovely. hadn't been to their place for ages, and it was just so nice to sit around chatting and stuff. And then last week, what did we do? We didn't really do a lot, to be honest. Went to visit Bob's brother, who's in hospital. He's fine. He's doing better. I went out for dinner with some ex-work colleagues. That was really fun. Oh my God, we laughed and laughed so much. Then I had tea with another friend and a bit of a knit in a local restaurant, which has just reopened, and it's called the Boathouse. It's really nice inside there. And then we had Tristan for a sleepover on Saturday night after the F1. And yeah, oh, he's so funny. So we were playing Play-Doh, and he gets the Play-Doh out, and there's this like syringy thing, and you squirt the Play-Doh in it, and it wiggles, you know, comes out in this funny little shape. So we haven't played for it for a while. Well, there must have been Play-Doh in it that got stuck. So it took him 10 minutes to get this out, and I was not allowed to help him get it out. No. So he's bashing on it and getting it all organized. Anyway, he gets it out. And then he looks at me, he says, Nana, do you want to be healthy? He's not even 4 yet. I said, yes, Tristan, I would like to be healthy. He said, then I have to give you a shot. He takes this hard end of the Playmobil plastic stuff that had come out, the Play-Doh that had come out this syringe, and he's trying to jab me in the arm with this. I'm like, oh my gosh. Thanks, Tristan. I really appreciate that. So, you look after Nana, Tristan. Oh, he's so funny. And I'm not going to show you yet, but you know my new sock pattern that I am designing? One is now complete in the colorway that I like. I have a toddler one complete, and I have done a pair for Tristan. Well, I haven't done the pair yet. I've done one, and I wanted to try it on him when he was here to see if it fits, and that's the child size, and it fits him perfectly. And what, maybe tiny bit loose, baggy, but I mean, it's fine. He'll grow into it. It'll be ready for him when he needs it. But I did it in a self-striping yarn. You should see it. I can't show you yet though. I'm sorry. You're gonna have to just wait a little bit longer before you can see it. If you look back through old episodes, you'll see some sneak peeks anyway, so you should know what it looks like. But so that's what my week has been like, and we've talked for 7 minutes, and there you go. So let's talk knitting, shall we? And let's get into the Gideon method. Now, if you do not know what the Gideon method is, it is something that I started doing the beginning of the year because I have so many whips. I think I had 22. Now, admittedly, a bunch of them are blankets. The majority of them are blankets. So what I wanted to do was work on these regularly and not, because a lot of them have been sat there for a long time. Ages. So this is my weekly, monthly kind of to-dos. I don't even know if you want to call it that, but I made this up. I saw this on a video. If I can remember the name of the lady who did this, I will put a link below to her video. No, I can't remember her name. No, it's gone. And she did this video and about how to set up your March, April, May, no, whatever month you're working in. I started in January. I have this gorgeous book that I'm putting my notes in. And so, there's my crafty plans, look. So what I do is I put in, so there was January, and here's my Gideon method. I picked 6 items that needed to be worked on. And I put them in here, and then what I do is I work 12 hours on each one of these things. If it's finished, it gets shifted off the list. If it's not finished, it moves to the bottom and the next one comes up. And I work on those. Of course, there's always a queue. There's always new things I want to cast on. And, you know, and then I did my cross stitch stuff and my quilting stuff. And then whatever. And then I break it down to each week and decide what I'm working on that week. So I've done that for January, and I know that Emily from Emily Makes is doing something similar. Now, you don't have to do the Gideon method. Just write down for that month what it is you want to work on. So here is my March. So March was the Musselburgh hat, the chicken, because the Musselburgh hat took over, because once you finish something, you add something you're working on in that spot, right? And so on and so on. So I was up to the Pemberton, and then over here is my weekly snapshot of what I have worked on that particular week, and then I cross them off, and I love crossing them off as I do them. So this keeps me a bit more organized, because I have so many things I'm working on, because I am retired, right? And other than getting Tristan the odd day, or Evie, or going out and doing something with Bob when he's got a day off, all I do is craft, because I don't like housework. I'm just putting that right out there. Don't like it. Don't want to do it. I only do it when we have people come in. Yeah. Before I get Bob into doing it. Yeah, anyway. So that's how I've been working it. Now, I try to get all of the 6 things done in the month if possible, but they don't all get done. So the first one on my pile was the Pemberton Pullover. And which is which? That's the back. The back and the front are the same, other than the neckline is a bit lower. And this is the front. And no, that's the back. That's the back. So there's the back, which is the same as the front. Here is the front, and you can see it's more scooped. And I was where the marker was when I started my 12 hours. And so that's what I got done in the 12 hours. Working on that, and I got it finished. I got the front finished. So actually this would fit me, wouldn't it? What do you think? Maybe not, still a bit big, but it's very nice. It's called the Pemberton Pullover. I love that one there, that design. And I will put the name of the person on the screen. Bobbi, I don't remember. So that is done, and that was my 12 hours. And so that was perfect, because it gives you something to work to. And I know now that I will, when this rotation comes back up for next month, I will be starting the sleeves, and hey, I might get a whole sleeve done in those 12 hours. So then I know the following month I'll get the next sleeve done, and then it'll be ready to put together. So I know I could probably get this finished in, so where are we now? March, April, May. I could have it finished by June, July at the worst. And they'll be ready for him for the winter. So that's that one. The other one I worked on after that 12-hour rotation was I worked on my Geogradient shawl, which was fed up with and put it away. So that was clue 1. If you didn't know what this is, it's a Stephen West shawl, and it's part of his mystery knit along that he does in October. So that was clue 1, which was the second clue 1 I started, because the first clue 1, it was a bit of a nightmare. Reminded everybody of a certain symbol, and so people were upset, and so it got changed. God love him for changing it. So this was the new one. So this is this. And this is all my own hand-dyed yarn too, which is very, very pretty. And then the next clue was these things, which were fun to do. And then this was clue 3, which I 100% loved this stitch pattern. This is gorgeous. Absolutely. Don't they look like waves crashing in? I absolutely love it. So this is really good. So now I have to go, clue 4 comes all down here, all around there, all the way down there. 500 stitches just about. It's called the dip stitch. It looks very interesting. I'm not doing it. I am not sitting here with 500 odd stitches on my needle. Can't do it. I just can't do it. I don't have the power. Sorry, Ace Ventura. So I am going to crochet. And I talked to a couple of people who've done it. Lynda from Lynda Simpson Designs, she crocheted the bottom. She did tell me what she did. Now, for the life of me, I can't remember. I've written it down twice. Do you think I can find it? No. So I think I was looking at it all last night, and I think I'm going to do the shell stitch, which does resemble the dip stitch, kind of. So I'm going to do that, which will be crochet. And that's good because I do enjoy a good crochet. And it'll go much quicker than the 490 something blinking stitches that's going to be on there. So, you know. And then talking about crochet, next on my list, which is what I'm currently doing my 12 hours on, and I think I've got 3 hours into this already, is the Starlight blanket by Attic 24. And it's very big. So here it is, and I chose to do the color wash. I know that, oh my gosh, Davina, how could I forget your name? Davina of Little Workroom Crafts is doing it. I don't know, she might even be finished hers, because she was doing just the stripe, and that is, it's 15 colors, and you just repeat the 15 colors, repeat the 15 colors, repeat the 15 colors. And I think you do two there and a back with each color. This is called the color wash. And so you're doing all the colors in like this wash. Now, I didn't have some of the 15 colors. Like, I'm pretty sure this is not the color it should be. I think this is saffron, and I think it was another color. But, oh gosh, look at the way the color is making that. The closer I get, the better you can see the color. Oh, do I have that backwards? No, I don't know if I do. Anyway, that's where I was when I started my rotation, and I'm about 12 hours into 3 hours into this. So it's really nice. I'm enjoying it. It's called the V-stitch. So that's coming on remarkably well. I'm very happy with that. So that's where I'm up to with my rotation of those 3 things. Now, the other thing that I've worked, there's 2 other things I'm also working on, because of course I am. I am working on the Musselburgh hat, and I am loving this. This is my car knitting. My ball of yarn is in here. So that's how much I have left. So I'm getting close to where I should be starting, I believe. This is 15 inches from here to here currently. I believe in the pattern I'm supposed to go to 18 before I start doing the decreases, to do the same as this, but at that end. And this is my hand-dyed yarn that's called School Uniform, because the colors when I dyed them reminded me of my son's school uniform when they went to a Catholic high school. And so I called it School Uniform. And this is going to be for one of the boys. I don't know which one yet, depends on whose head it fits. So I'm trying to get this finished, and I'll probably take it with me to Nova Scotia if I don't get it finished in the next week, because as I say, this is car knitting. And of course we're driving to Nova Scotia. So if it's not finished, it'll be coming and it will get finished on the drive, because it's a 14-hour drive. What? I'll say that again. 14-hour drive from Ontario to Nova Scotia. Yes. So it's coming with me, and I'm hoping to finish it. Then I can try it on Sean's head, and if it fits him, he gets it. And I'll know then if, oh, maybe I should have got Andrew to try it first. Oh, I don't know. Anyway, I'll be making one for Andrew anyway, so. But it'll give me an idea whose head. I'll measure Sean's head when I'm there. Then I can measure Andrew's head. Then I can tell whose head is what. I know one of them has a bigger head. I feel like Andrew has the bigger head. Not that you need to know all that. But anyway, I'm really enjoying it. It's super easy. It's just knit, 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 knit in a big old circle. I'm using 16-inch circular needles, 3.25. And this is fingering weight yarn, and it is an 80-20, I think. I'm fairly sure this is just my standard sock yarn. I don't think it's merino, 100% merino. But anyway, it's fun to do. I'm really, really enjoying it. And the other thing, knitting-wise, I've been working on is my mitered square blankets. And there are, I did say blankets. There are definitely a few of them on the go. This first one is a brand new one that I started, and I started that in the center with this one, and I did the first 4 in the middle, and this is all my own hand-dyed yarn that I have sold in the shop at some point, and or is still in the shop depending. So these were based on birth flowers of the month, and some of them were done for Halloween, for Christmas, stuff like that last year. I have not done much dyeing this year because I have only been dyeing for a project. This was one I dyed this year, and this one. These were for the Honey It's Cold Out socks that were released in February. So this has been great, and I've been going around and around the middle. So as you can see, I am coming down this side, and we'll go up that way and up this way to complete that square, to make it more of the right size. And I have really been enjoying doing these. I was trying to do a square a day, but I'm actually running out of the hand dyed yarn because, as I say, I haven't dyed any since. This will be the next color that my new socks that I'm doing are going to be for, with a brown, a bit darker than that. But that'll be the next color that I will be putting in the shop. Yeah, so I'm really enjoying it. It has gone super well. I figured out how to get the pattern to go the way I want it and where I need to start each section. It definitely is a mind-boggling thing to look at it, to make sure you're making the center spine go the way you want it to. I really have to think about it sometimes, but once I get going, I'm pretty good. When I come to like start a new row, that's where I get messed up. But I figured it out on this one how to do it. I have not figured it out, obviously, on the next one, which I'm going to show you because I've already messed it up. This one is one I started, gosh, ages ago, maybe 2 years ago. And I was doing a color with a white and using Ellie Jones from Craft House Magic's mixtape minis and a white. Because I got her mixtape minis for the whole of 2022. Highly recommend if you ever want to do that. It's a lot of fun, and she's really a good dyer. And so I really enjoyed doing this, but then I got fed up because the white, while I love the white in there and it makes it very babyish, it was going to be a baby blanket. It was just taking me too long, and I was not enjoying adding the whites. They were boring. So I then decided that I was going to carry on with all the mixtape minis that I had, but not put any more white. I was going to make the white the center of the blanket. And so I started adding all the colors, trying to keep them in the month that they came in. But I added one white because this is going to be one white stripe that will go all the way through the blanket. So I know when I get to this side, there's a pin there. This is where I need to do a white. But I'm just going to have one big white stripe all the way down diagonally, following the spine all the way down the blanket. But the rest is here. So here's where I go. So this weekend I added this square and this square. Anybody see the issue? There's no issue here. We just add a square there. Here goes our spine. We come to this one. My spine has to go this way. I have this square there. I tell you, every time I think I've got it right, I don't. So where should I have started? Maybe this side? I think I should have picked up here and gone all the way that way. So what's going to happen is I'm going to have to come down here, pick up, do stitches here, pick up here, and then keep picking this one up on the way up. I've had to do that before, twice before. God, I'm useless. But it's looking really nice. And so I did these two on the weekend. So I was trying to do a square day, but other things keep coming up, and I just don't do a square day anymore. So I'm trying to do Sundays is Scrappy Sundays, and that's the day I do nothing else but work on scrappy blankets. So that's what I got done on Sunday. 2 squares. Not much really, but I have actually done a lot since I started this blanket, so I'm quite happy with how it's coming out. And these are long haul projects. I think the issue with this one when I started it was I was trying to finish it as a baby blanket, and I felt like I was under the gun to finish it. And that put me off. Whereas doing a square here and a square there, Scrappy Sundays, it's easier. I'm not under the gun. If it takes me all year to do it, it takes me all year to do it. Whatever. Okay, oh my gosh, half an hour about knitting. Are you still all with me? Maybe I should put timestamps in so that you can figure out where I'm. If you don't want the knitting, you can just whiz past to the cross stitch, because that's next. I have 2 cross stitch projects I am working on at the same time. And cross stitch is Stitchy Saturdays. I spend Saturday cross stitching, either in the daytime if I'm watching football or something, or F1, or in the evening watching telly. The first one I am working on is this, which is a Dimensions kit called Peking Puppies, and I'm doing this for my son Sean in Nova Scotia because these looked exactly like his Brittany Springer Spaniel, and this looked a bit like his previous dog that has just passed away, other than I have to change the colors for her, which I don't know how that easy that's gonna be. We're gonna find out. And it's a nice pattern because all of the door parts here, that's all half a cross stitch. So it goes fairly quickly. This actual full cross stitch are the dogs in the center. So it will make them stand out really a lot. The only trouble with this one is it's all grays and blacks, and a lot of the times, even in some of the door area we are mixing up 2 grays together. But anyway, this is as far as I've gone. Look at that. I have come a long way on this since you saw this last time. I actually got slightly obsessed with it. So most of this is done. I have to still finish in here with the half cross stitches. And here is my beautiful Ellie. There's her lovely eye. And I am really, really enjoying working on this one. And I keep setting myself little goals. Like, so for instance, when I pick this up again on the weekend, my goal will be, because it's most of this, all of this is done. So we're up to like here. So my goal will be to finish down here and finish down there. That's where her nose starts. And then I'll start all the nose center part. Then I'll probably come back and do the eyes. But that's how I like to do it. I like to give myself little goals of what I'm going to work on. It's too hard to pick that goal on the pattern because the pattern is a bit colored. It does have color in it. But it's not as obvious as when you're stitching and you see where you're at when you're looking at your actual. But isn't that gorgeous? Oh, love it. So that's the first one I am working on. And because it's all gray and black, I wanted something with color. And as you know, I finished Tristan's Bothy Threads Jungle Welcome. Here's a picture of it. It's now framed. I got the framing and the matting and everything at Michael's, but put it together myself with pins. Last week, I think, on my blog, I showed some pictures of it with the pinning. And I really love the picture, and he loves it. So I wanted to do his sister, Evelyn, one the same, in the same frame, the same theme. So I am doing Woodland Welcome for her, which is all the little woodland animals. And I always start in the middle and count over to something I want, and I wanted to start with the fox. So I counted over to the fox, and there's how far I've got with my fox. Isn't that cute? Oh, look. It's super cute. So I am really pleased with how these are coming on. So what I did on Saturday, was I worked on, during the day, I worked on picking puppies because it was lighter for me to see and with the grays. And then in the evening, I worked on the fox while watching telly. So yeah, I'm really pleased with my 2 cross stitch projects. And I do have lots more that need to be finished, but I'm just going to work on those 2 until July 1st. If they're not finished by July 1st, which is my goal for both of them, I will start Christmas. And I have one Christmas one I think there's 2 Christmas ones I want to finish. One I've been doing for years and years. But there's a new one I want to start for Christmas. There's never enough time. Okay, finally, let's talk quilting. And I have 2 small videos to show you because it's too hard for me to hold these things up. So the first one was I finished the Ambience quilt, which was a So Sampler quilt from I don't even know how long ago, probably 2022, that I had started for Miss Megan, my beautiful daughter-in-law in Nova Scotia. And I had left it for a long time. I had 3 blocks to finish and put together, and I managed to do that. I showed you that last time, and I started Quilt As You Go with it. This has been the best Quilt As You Go I've done. I still learned from it. I put 1-inch strips between each of the front panels to join. Okay, so let me back up. what I did was I had my panel or block. In this case, they were panels, but so I have my panel block. I cut out a piece of batting 1/2 inch bigger all the way around, and a piece of the back. Oh, bloody crow just came flying right past the window. I thought it was going to come in. And the backing fabric was 1/2 inch, 45 3/4 of an inch bigger, and I sandwiched them together with that glue stuff, and then I did a wavy line all the way through. Then once they were all done, and that kind of, you have to go a little bit bigger with your batting and backing because it tends to pull it a bit when you're quilting. So it did a little bit, not much. Then I trimmed them all down so they were the same size. Then I had 1 inch pieces of that matched the front of the quilt, so the gray, and then 1.5 inch for the back, a strip that matched the backing fabric. In hindsight, that should have been 1 3/4 or possibly 2 inches, because there were a few times I had to fudge the back a bit because it didn't quite go over and cover. But I really liked this method of doing it. It's fabulous for doing on a small domestic sewing machine, way cheaper than taking it to a long armer to do. And I don't have the beauty of owning a long arm. So to me, this was the best way of doing it. And I'm going to do this with every quilt from now on, because it was such a great and easy method. Anyway, let me show you, courtesy of Hello Bob, how it turned out. So here is Bob. Say hello, Bob.
Hello, Bob.
Hold it up. The quilt for Megan. So I just wanted you to see how long it was, and now you can see how pretty it has turned out. I did a wavy stitch on it all the way down with my walking foot, and I did 1 block at a time, and then I put little pencil marks so I could continue on the wave down to the bottom. And then of course these have all been joined as quilt as you go with these little tiny 1 inch strips that are between each of the...
Are you going to be long because my arm's getting sore?
Okay, turn it around for me, hon. So here is the back, and there you can see those 1 inch strips again, how they turned out. And then down at the bottom there is for my girl.
And my feet?
Oh, nobody's looking at your feet.
Oh, okay.
So there, that's the quilt. Thank you. Oh, what do you think? I love it. I think I got put off with it for so long because of the gray background fabric. And but once it's all put together, it's just beautiful. I really, really like it, and I hope she does. We will be taking it with us to Nova Scotia next week. So then I was finished a project, and other than my cotton cuts, which you see that on a regular basis, I didn't know what else to work on, and I had 4 or 5 boxes of unfinished quilts. So I thought, let's pull another one out. If we did that with Ambience, I'm sure I can do it with the next one. So my next quilt that I have pulled out, put up on my design wall, which I had to get Bob to lengthen for me, is Around the Kitchen Table, which is a flash fiction mystery by Lynda and Suellen. So here is the little video explaining flash fiction. So here is the Around the Kitchen Table. This was a mystery put out by Flash Fiction. Now, what that means is each month you got a chapter of a story, which then led to a puzzle to solve and a block to quilt. Isn't that lovely? I love that cardinal one. Now, I can't remember the story because I read it. It was 2022. I can't really remember how all these things, like I had no idea how that one became, I don't know. In fact, I think I changed the colors a little bit on that one. I just did that the other day. And you can see I'm not sure it's even going to fit in that space, but I'll make it. And I love the flowers. These are great. But again, I can't remember how that fit into the story, or I think that was something to do with they were making jam and sitting around the kitchen table, making jam and talking. I don't remember what these were all about. But anyway, it's a really nice quilt. And I left it sat for so long. In fact, I hadn't finished this block, and I haven't finished the block that goes there, which is actually another applique. So I'm going to finish that off and then sew it together. I did sew these 3 pieces together and then to the flower, as you can see there. So now I also want to quilt as you go with this because I'm obsessed with quilt as you go right now. So my plan was to leave this one as a block, sew all these together and that to it, and then that to it, and that becomes a block. And so these 2, this one and that becomes a block, which in their instructions is row 1. So, but I'm going to keep the 3 blocks separate and then quilt them and then sew them together. And the same for, so where some of them, like these, don't look like they're going to meet, they will once I have my little 1-inch borders for the quilt as you go. And I did change these blocks here around because this block there, oh, you can't see that because it's focusing on my finger. That block there was down there, but I switched it and put these 2 together because I thought that made more sense with the 2 rolling pins with the balls. Anyway, that is my around the kitchen table currently being worked on. Isn't it going to be cool? I don't know if it's my cup of tea. I'm not really a sort of a sampler quilter, like with all different blocks, but it was fun to make and a very good experience with, they have a fabulous website. They have, I am actually doing the next one, which is called Mossy Oaks. I haven't even done a block. But we'll say, I'll get to it. But anyway, it's really fun to do. I love I'm looking at it on my wall. Some of the colors really stand out and love the fabrics for. Do I wish I hadn't done a white background? Yes. No. I don't know. Some of the colors don't show up in my opinion as well as they should. But it's a nice quilt. It'll get finished. It'll look fabulous. What am I going to pick for a background? I have no idea. For backing, no idea. Don't know. Red, yellow. What do you think? What color should I do for the backing? For the back of the quilt, what color should I do? Don't know. But anyway, and of course I will be quilting as you go, as you heard me say. So yeah, so that is all I've got for you. This Friday coming is a sew with me, will be my cotton cuts that I will be doing. I don't know yet if I'm going to record it or do it live. It's really hard to show sewing live. And I still haven't figured out how to do the overhead yet in my setup. So I'm not sure if that one will be live or recorded, but you'll find out in the next few days. The 19th, so next Tuesday, is a sit and knit with a special guest. I'm not telling you who it is. You're going to just have to tune in. Make sure you like this video. Make sure you subscribe to my channel and hit the bell. And then on the 22nd, I will be in Nova Scotia. So I'm not sure if that live will happen, which is, I think, the Mitre Square one. We'll just see. It depends on what we're doing that day and if I have time to sit for an hour and knit. I'm sure I do. But anyway, that's what's coming up in the next little while with Tobyknits. And I don't know where Toby is. He hasn't even come in today. He's with Bob. So anyway, I'll talk to you later. Bye.